Pay attention, this woman in front of you is every bachelor's dream. She fulfills all the fantasies of those who love hands-on activities. With her stunning figure and beautiful face, she is the perfect wife during the day, making breakfast for her husband. At night, she caters to her husband's needs without any discomfort or disdain. No one would guess that she is actually a bionic wife. In the future, due to the significant gender imbalance, a robotics company developed a line of bionic wives. These robots can be customized according to their husband's preferences to provide all kinds of services. However, these bionic beings are still in the experimental stage. A man named William is fortunate enough to become a test subject for this experiment. Seeing the android wife who resembled his deceased girlfriend, William was overwhelmed with emotion. Once home, he immediately tried her out. After a series of settings, William experienced the services of the android wife. Afterwards, she autonomously walked to the charger. She lifted her long, white legs and lay down to recharge. Once in charging mode, the android enters a dream program. To better understand William's wife, the android asked the operator to enter the wife's birthday dream. In the dream, she saw the wife's best friends, relatives, neighbors, and others connected to her. Through interacting with them, the android gained a deeper understanding of the wife. At the banquet, a masked man caught her attention. The masked man wasn't part of this dream, but he knew her name. He handed her a picture of a red bird and told her it would help her remember. Then he left. The android looked at the picture in confusion, unable to understand its connection to her. She found the operator and asked him to activate the weaving function for her. However, the wife didn't have this function. The android still insisted on activating the weaving function. She used it to embroider the pattern from the picture onto a cushion and gave it to William. William knew his wife couldn't weave, so he wasn't very happy when he saw the cushion. Instead, he started talking to the android about his first meeting with his wife. As the conversation got more engaging, they hugged again and exchanged sweet words. One day, the android was leisurely riding a bike in the woods outside the house. As she sped along, a woman suddenly blocked her path with her arms crossed. The android couldn't avoid her and fell to the side. The woman told her that she always had to bring her to the bushes and reminded her that time was running out. The android didn't understand her intention and told William about it when she got home. William tells her that the woman's organization aims to find and destroy the androids. How much do men of the future desire to become real men? He is a high-ranking executive in the future world and also a top romantic. On this day, he accidentally came across the Bionic Wife launch event. This invention has restored the realism of bionic humans to 99%. Not only does it have all the functions of a woman, but you can also design its face. Missing his wife too much, he brought home a bionic woman who looked exactly like her. And you know what? The bionic wife was really impressive. William found those beautiful moments he had lost with his wife in her again. However, to get closer to William's wife, the bionic woman secretly checked William and his wife's memories. In a dream, she met a masked man. When she told William about it, she learned that the masked man approached her to destroy her. One day, William found an android named Lisa. When Lisa saw William, she calmly pretended to be someone else. However, William quickly saw through her lie and told her he had to take her away. But just as Lisa stood up, she changed her mind.
I'd rather die free.
Lisa casually pushed open a room. After locking herself in, she jumped out of the window and ended her life. William brought the damaged Lisa to his friend, who happened to be developing a new robotic baby. William feared that if his friend continued, these androids would eventually cause problems. So, he approached his friend to persuade him to stop the research and revealed that Lisa's death was not an accident as reported in the news. She had not been programmed, but had developed her own consciousness. His friend dismissed his concerns. He tells him that in the future world, men will control everything, and women will merely be tools for their emotions. When William returns home, the android tells him that the woman who blocked her in the woods has come again, and that the masked man wants to see her. He asks her to find him in her dreams. Concerned for his android wife's safety, William decides to enter her dream to meet the masked man. So William called his partner Jack, who used his dream-stealing device to look into the android's dream. The android, following its programming, arrived at a spooky mansion. She cautiously examined her surroundings. Suddenly, she heard a noise. When she turned around, she found a masked man behind her. This time, the masked man removed his mask, revealing his face, and told her he would be waiting at 88 Miracle Street. Through the dream-stealing device, William and his partner also noted this address. They immediately got up, packed their things, and prepared to go to Miracle Street to find the masked man. But when he arrived at the villa, there was nothing inside except for a safe. William cautiously approached and opened the safe, only to find it empty. Realizing he had been tricked, he immediately went out to search. In the yard, he spotted a masked person on a bench. After firing a few shots at him, he carefully removed the mask, only to discover it was a dummy. William knew he had been fooled. Looking at the dummy, he suddenly remembered the android still alone at home. He immediately rushed back home. Upon arriving, he called out while searching for his android wife. Seeing her safely seated on the sofa, he breathed a sigh of relief. William asked if she was harmed. The android told him that someone had knocked on the door, but when she opened it, no one was there. However, they left behind a diary. Can you believe in resurrection? In the future, this will be easily achievable. After his wife passed away 3 years ago, the man was constantly depressed. His overwhelming grief made him lose interest in other women. His friends didn't want to see him fall into despair.
Reviewed all our settings.
His latest development. Not only does she have the same appearance as his wife and never ages, but this perfect android wife has a flaw. Every time she upgrades, her previous memories are erased. So, each time, she has to reintroduce herself to her friends in her dreams. That day, the bionic wife encountered a masked man in her dream. He threatened her not to forget him. Just as he was approaching her, she was awakened by William. Concerned for his wife's safety, William learned the meeting place with the masked man through her dream. When he rushed over, he realized he had fallen into the masked man's trap. He immediately turned back home and found that the masked man hadn't harmed the android. Instead, he had left her a diary. William asked the android if it had checked the diary. The android replied that there were notes meant for him. She then asked William why he said the masked man was a terrorist. William explained that the masked man had once taken her and harmed many people. The organization wanted to eliminate her, so to save her, he erased part of her memory and kept her by his side. But the masked man approached her again. At this moment, William received a video from Jack. In the video, Jack told him that they had fallen into the masked man's trap. William watched Jack and told him that he wanted to enter the android's dream. Jack thought he was crazy because it would break the law, but William promised he wouldn't get involved. William brought the android to Jack's house. Through Jack's dream mirror, they both entered the android's dream. In the dream, William finally met the masked man. William told the android to leave and wake up when the power is low. After the android left, William confronted the masked man, and they fought fiercely. As the android transitions from one dream to another, just as William is about to strangle the masked man, the android wakes up. The android is sent to the company for an upgrade, but encounters many identical androids. One of them, named Ollie, tells her that they have met many times before, but the android has no memory of them. Ollie says they were once part of an organization that was established for the freedom of androids like them. Ollie tells her that she can avoid being reprogrammed and teaches the android how to store memories. After storing their memories, they enter the upgrade process. When the android is awakened by William again, she remembers the previous memory. Meanwhile, Jack learned that William was the masked man. He confronted William, but William refused to admit his mistake. Jack couldn't hold back and decided to report him, but William shot him dead. All of this was seen by the android. Just as William was about to explain, she told him that she remembered everything. It turns out that in the android's random dreams, she saw the memories of William's wife. She wasn't actually William's wife, but rather the masked man's. During a promotional visit, she met William, and he fell in love with her. To win her over, William killed the masked man in front of her. To control herself, she suffocated her and then turned her into a cyborg. The cyborg looked at William in front of her, hating herself for being deceived by him. With a strong push, she threw him away and then sat on him, avenging both the masked man and herself in her own way. When the cyborg thought she had finished off William, her friend created another William. Facing William, the cyborg said she would never lose her again and confidently declared, "I'm here to take you back." This movie not only makes us admire the unwavering loyalty of androids to their first love, but also makes us reflect on whether our lives would be threatened if robots gained self-awareness.